Hello, my name is Katja Yanko, and I'll be singing Someone Like You from Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay.
Step up.
Trained very well. I mean, there's a number of wonderful teachers in Houston, but Jody's one of them, and you're very well trained. You can tell her I said so, because there's places where many other more careless young singers would have done some things that I would have questioned, but you've been very well trained, so good for you. I will caution you with this, by the fact that you're so young and that the notes are coming, you know, and you can hit these things, be careful. Or as a director in New York used to say to us all the time, he would always say, we didn't know what this meant at first either, but he would say, stay in your own shoes. Meaning, do what you're capable of, forget what your friends are doing or what anybody 10 years older than you is doing, do what you do, right? And don't jump up and try something too quick that you may not be ready for. I think you have an excellent voice with excellent potential to grow even more. So all the more reason that you're with somebody really good as a voice teacher to guide you along the way, because at 15 you're still very young. I know you don't think that right now, but you are. And when you get to 18, 20, you'll look back and you'll realize how young you were right now. However, with this youth is coming great ability. So it has to be very carefully handled, because we want you to grow in the right ways and do everything that's safe for you and you know, all that stuff. So, and ordinarily, I got to be honest, I would not have said this was necessarily the thing you should be doing, but you know what? You handled it really, really well. And once again, a song that's too old for you, obviously, but, you know, it is, and once again, I have just a little bit of history with this. This is one of those, I do really wish I had $1 for every time I heard this song. But, you know, here, and fortunately, I got to hear Linda Eder sing it most of those times, and so that's pretty fantastic. Your just doing a great job, and you have a great sense of, this is obviously a pop-influenced song, and you have a great sense of how to approach this as opposed to even some other contemporary theater. Like where you're doing, when I say straight tones, do you know what I'm talking about when you're doing them? Because you did someone like you'd love someone like me, all on straight tones, which I think is absolutely right. It's what the sound should be. So you've got a really nice sense of that. What I would love you to find a little bit more musicality in it. I think there's places where we're not quite in it, but geez, you're 15. One thing is going to be, where do you start?
So Many Secrets.
Right from the beginning, and this is something you can just know, if you're doing a song by Mr. Wildhorn, what he is all about when he writes is beat and groove. Right? He always is about internal rhythm. So if you are doing a Wildhorn song, just think about nothing but what would a drummer play if he were playing along with it. Why? Because that's what Frank thinks when he's writing it. And if you do that, you're naturally going to sing a Wildhorn song better. Yes?
I've heard something about Wildhorn not being something you take in. Is that true anymore?
Unfortunately, yes. You know, Frank's one of my very good friends, and I always hate to say that. But, you know, when I saw for the first time probably 7, 8 years ago, that someone like you know, or this is the moment, you know, it was on somebody's don't sing list, you know, I sent him an email and I said, well, you've officially arrived as a composer because now you're on the don't sing list. So that means you've reached a certain level, you know. So yes, I think that's true. I think there is a little bit of a prejudice against that material. Again, I'm not sure why, because I think it's really good. But once again, one of the reasons that if somebody were to say to me, oh, can I do someone like you? I might say no, is because I have heard so many bad versions of it. Right? I've heard people mangle it so many times, and I'm not interested in that. Now, if I knew that people were going to sing it like this, I'd be much more apt to hear it. You know? And sometimes, you know, maybe, you know, you just say, look, I know I killed this, so I'm going to do it.
Like Scarlet Pimpernel or something.
Exactly. You know, but I think, yeah, there's a little bit of that, but there's no reason not to work on it, because Frank was one of the first people out there with Elton John to really start to incorporate real pop things into, I mean, I know we've had Andrew Lloyd Webber and some things like that before, but Frank really kind of rose to another level, how we can incorporate pop song forms into a musical theater score. If you don't know, he wrote one of Whitney Houston's #1 hits, Where Do Broken Hearts Go? And so that's the world he came from, and so that's what he's thinking when he writes it. So one of the things you can do right off the bat is hear this drummer. When you start with So Many Secrets? Okay. It's like, you know, so many. All right, hear the drummer, hear the groove, hear the beat, okay? And the hard part, white folks, we don't want to feel this, right? We want to think so many secrets on 1 and 3, where it's on 2 and 4. I wrote this article for the music site I write for, and it was all about, it was the day before the election, it was all about if you're an undecided voter, you know, and you needed a reason to help you make your decision, well, let's look at the music, and let music be the decision on who we make. And if nothing else, you can not like anything else about him, but Mr. Obama is hip when it comes to music. You know, he stepped up at the Apollo and sang 5 notes of that Al Green song. I'm so in love with you. You know, and place went crazy. Al Green's sales jumped 500% the next day because President Obama had sung 7 notes, and well, by the way. And you always, whenever they're at the White House and somebody's performing, you catch he and Michelle, and they're always on 2 and 4. Right? They go right to the groove, you know. And then we found the official campaign playlists. You know, and Barack Obama had all this hip, cool Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin and Janelle Monáe and all this really cool stuff on his playlist. You know, and Mitt Romney's was not near so cool. But you know, so, but you know, there's that finding, just being musical. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing we have to do is dig into this groove. You know what I mean? So I'm going to claim he won the presidency because he's hipper musically, Obama. That's what we think anyway. But, so hear that right off the bat, okay? And then there's a couple little places where we can make it a little more musical. So let's just go right from the top, but I really want you to concentrate on those beats 2 and 4, and it's like there's a drummer there, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, right where you sing, and... Feel the internal rhythm. Feel how it just feels better when she concentrates on that? Keep feeling the rhythm. Moving forward. Now don't slow down too early. Okay, don't slow down too early, or because I want you to slow down later. If you do it too early, it'll kill it. Okay. If someone like you found me now. Back in the tempo. Good. Good. Now let's go back. Go back to there'd be a new way to live. Okay. And I'd feel so alive. Go for my heart would take wing.
My heart would take the wing, and I feel so alive.
Now watch me.
If someone like you
No. Loved. Don't change the note. Hear that? And that's, one reason is because she's so good. I'm able to feed it to her because she's so good. I saw you go, oh yeah. What'd you get out of that over there? I saw you shaking your head, yes. What'd you like?
I love everything.
You just loved everything? It just felt good, huh? Good. That's the point. And that's what tapping into that internal rhythm will do for you. And it's also what I was getting her to do with the slowdowns and all that stuff. Listen to the music. It'll tell you how it wants to be sung if you just listen. Just tap into it. You know what I mean? And just think about the words you're saying, right? And I feel, right? That's the most important word, right? And I feel so alive if someone like you, right? Think about what the important words are. And on that last little love to me, don't change the note. Things in theater come in threes many times. And we've got 3 little repetitions of this, and I think it's important that they're mostly the same.
Okay.
Love me, love me, love me. It's important that we keep them very simple.
Okay.
Okay? Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Well, you're just a terrifically, wonderfully intuitive singer. And those things we were doing, and granted, she was following me a little bit, but you can drive that train.
Okay.
Right? If you're feeling the internal rhythm in the pulse, and you feel where those pull downs and slow downs and all that are, you'll know. She'll hear it and she'll understand what to do. But you're just terrific. Just really wonderful. Nice job.